G'day Slinkies, this is Shadian Munro from Slink in Second Life, and in this video I'm going to introduce you to the Slink iridescence eyes and show you how to work them and show you what's special about them. So when you first get your eyes, you will find a pack in your objects folder. It's called Slink tilde iridescence eyes and whatever color you bought. We just right click it and select add, so it adds to our HUD and automatically unpacks for us. Press the keep button and then detach the HUD. The next thing we need to do is make sure we have bump mapping and shiny enabled in our Second Life viewer. So we go to the Me menu, we select Preferences, we select Graphics, Advanced Settings, and then check that you have bump mapping and shiny enabled. If it's not enabled, enable it. If you're unable to enable this setting, you can still use these eyes, but you won't get the advanced settings of the materials that I've created for it. Also check and make sure you have local lights selected, because local lights will help the eyes look their best. Press OK and go out of there. And now we'll have a look at what's in the folder. So the folder you unpacked has 5 different sets of eyes, from very dark to very light, which is the ethereal one, dark, medium, light, ethereal, and supernatural. So let's go with the light aqua. All we need to do is simply wear it. Because these are system eyes, you can only wear one set of system eyes at a time. Double clicking on it won't cause anything to fall off other than any other system eyes you're wearing. So if you're wearing mesh eyes that have pliers, you will need to remove your mesh eyes and your eye alpha in order to see these eyes. So this is the very basic eye that we have here. Now you'll notice I've not baked in any highlights, and that's because of the specular highlights that are provided by the mesh. However, I have provided 7 universal tattoos that will add highlights to your eyes. So if we just select one of those, everything will refresh because this is just a system layer, and you'll see your highlights are now in your eyes. These are baked in highlights. They're not dynamic. They won't move with your avatar, and they won't reflect any local lighting. So it's just a few different varieties so that you can have that extra shine there. I always use right click and add whenever I'm working with Second Life attachments and Second Life objects. Otherwise, the chances are you can take something off that you don't want to. So there's a few different options there to play with. You can also layer them if you want to wear more than one. Go right ahead. And that will just bake into the eye texture and present to your viewer as if it was baked in. All right. However, we want to see the dynamic highlights. So I'll take off these 2 tattoo layers. And if you have a look at the bottom of your folder, you will find 2 unrigged eyes left and right. And you can wear these with any mesh head or the system head if you wish. And 1 set of rigged for Slink heads. However, it may work with other heads. I haven't checked them, but if you think it might work with yours, then it's always worth just having a wear and having a look at them. So we right click and add, and you can see now that the texture that I was wearing on my eyes before has now baked into those meshes. And we right click the HUD and select add as well. All right, so if you have a look at this HUD over here, the very first thing at the top here is please enable bump mapping and shiny, which is what we did at the beginning of this video. Otherwise you won't see the effect that I've created for these eyes. The very next thing you'll see is an iridescence shine value slider, and it's this one here. It has a 0 setting and a 255 setting, and the higher you go on this slider, the tighter and more visible the iris shine will become. So you can see here as I go up the slider, the shine on the iris is becoming more visible and shinier essentially. If we go low on this slider here, it's still there, but it's a lot more subtle and diffuse. The other thing you'll notice is the highlight on the surface of the eye over the pupil here is dynamic. So if I change the position of the eyes, you can see the highlight stays with the position of the light rather than going with the eye the way the baked textures do. And you can also see that beautiful dimensionality inside the iris as well as I change that position of the eye. The next thing underneath your iridescence shine value slider is the color palette. So on the color palette, you can select any color from the palette and any brightness from the luminosity slider, and that will affect the shine within your iris. So if we want to go closer to the color of the eyes here, we'll go down to sort of here-ish, and that's fairly close to the actual color of the eye. We'll make it a little bit more diffuse, so you've just got that lovely iridescence shine there on your iris. Irises are a little bit iridescent anyway, so this looks quite realistic. Or we can go right out there and get a really bright, shiny pink, otherworldly glow on those eyes. If you feel like you want to just reset everything and start from white again, you can press the reset to white button. The current selected value is shown in this little swatch here. So if we select this color here, because we haven't moved the luminosity slider, it doesn't matter what you do here, the color will always be white. If we move this luminosity slider down, you can see the current RGB value, red, green and blue value right there. And as we get closer to black, the numbers get smaller. As we get closer to white, the numbers get larger. So let's go with a nice sort of mid red. You can see that reflected on the iris there. The blue you can see here is the Bakes-On Mesh system layer. The pink you can see here is the specular iridescence value, and the little white dot is the material on the surface of the eye reflecting the local light that I have in front of me here. If you want to save a few colors for recall later, you can actually do that in the Save Current Color section. Just press the little V and it will save whatever the current color is in the color palette. So go over here and do another one. Select a nice blue. Go for a nice green. And now you can go back to any of those colors if you want to. If you want to match your eyes to an outfit, I don't know. Might be cool to go back and select a different color. If you want to clear them and save new colors, you can just press the little X button underneath the color swatch, and then you can save new colors in there. Or you can overwrite your colors by selecting a color on the HUD and then pressing the little V again, and it will just overwrite whatever's currently saved in that save slot. The final thing on this HUD is using the chat commands to tint your eyes. So if you have a particular color you want to get in there, we can go /18 in local chat, and then we want to select an RGB. So if we want to go with a full red, we type 255, 0, 0. So that's 255 red value, 0 green value, 0 blue value, which will go to a complete red, and you'll see that reflected in the eye and also on the HUD, and you can save that to recall it later. So that is the Slink Iridescence eyes. I hope you like them, and if you have any questions, you can contact me in World at Shadian Munro, or you can contact my assistant Slink Resident, and we will help you as much as we can. Thank you for watching.